Good afternoon everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something a little bit different but a little bit the same. We're returning to Le Mans. This is Le Mans 700 PP race. It's 30 minutes of the day, but we get all sorts of weather normally thrown at us. So we've had a request. We've used this car at the Tokyo 600, but we've never used it at the 700 PP circuit. So this is primarily a drift car, and it sets about a certain amount of challenges because the PP probably won't get anywhere near to the 700 PP as we go to adjust it. So let's take a look. The car is set up for Tokyo with 600 PP on Sport Hards. As we're going to move over to a 700 PP setup, you can see we move to Racing Mediums, which still only takes the car 670 PP. Everything else remains the same in terms of the suspension. It's fully customizable. We've not made any changes. The fully customizable rear diff we've altered to 555 to give us that length of assurity, both in the wet and in the dry. This should be a relatively tail-happy car because it's a drift car, so it should want to slide a little bit, but we'll have to find out. Downforce, there's no adjustment available because no changes available in the car. The rear is set to 550, which is absolutely everything. If you feel you want to give the back end more breath so you can go faster down the straight, please do so. You can up that PP to, let's do it, let's reduce the rear aero. It takes it to 691. So we're closing in on the 700 PP target, but we're not there. I'm going to keep that safe and secure number on the back, which is 550. There are no restrictions on the ECU. As we can see here, the power is pretty linear. We're looking for a gear change point if you really want to, where that torque setting, that torque maximum, meets the actual power setting. So you can see there 60 measured against that brake horsepower of 537 isn't actually amazing. So you would think with a low torque we might go to some different kind of gearbox, but we don't have that option. This is the ultra high RPM turbo, so you want to be in the higher rev range. But output is at 100, power restrictor is set to 100, fully customizable racing box set to 310. We've not made any manual adjustments to the gearing, but if you want to pause that and just have a little longer look and see if you've made any changes, it's exactly default. No nitrous. As you can see, the ultra high RPM turbo, which is only available to you if you've received it as a gift or if you're over level 50, but run it at the high RPM if you have that choice. That PP would be 679. So you're well within the range, there's no dramas. Racing intercooler, we've taken off the anti-lag to try and improve fuel efficiency. Racing intercooler as said, then racing air cleaner and silencer, and a racing brake system. We use the slotted discs. Brake controller, which we will put all the way to front to try and save the rear tyres. Steering angle kit, we're not going to need it because we're not drifting. Clutch and flywheel not changeable. There's nothing else in addition except for the increased body rigidity. So there we have it at 670 pp. If you want to go and do some noodle doodling and make this your own home, go and play. It's up to you. But we're going to try and do this with as much default settings as possibly can to try and get a really drivable car. Let's nip off to the race. This is against a field of Group 4 cars. Now, the reason we're here is because this is a request from a watcher, a follower, a user, a subscriber, whatever else you want to call it. It's from someone who comes and watches the live stream, and this is some way of a reward for following and going along. And you actually asked. If you don't ask, you won't get, folks. I don't mind doing requests. It's just sometimes it takes a little while to get it into the routine. You know, I've got a full-time job and I've got other things to do, so I try and squeeze this in. I spend a lot of time on the game and making videos, so just please bear with me if you do make a request. But they do get done, and we'll talk about it otherwise. Here we go. Settings then, as we always do. Traction control 1, default ABS, everything else off. Controller settings, controller steering sensitivity 5, force feedback max torque 7, force feedback sensitivity 7. There's nothing else to say about this, folks, other than this is the normal scenario with Le Mans race. We know it can rain, we know it can be dry. We know we can't set fastest laps until the last race, until the last lap, unless if we pit every 2 laps. Unless, of course, if we run a longer stint. So I'm going to attempt to run a longer stint to start with. Therefore, top speed will be down. But we'll aim to run until it rains or until the fuel runs out. So let's see where we go. This could be quite a close race, folks. I'm going to leave you in suspense so that you get a feel for what's going on and you don't predict the ending. So let's give it a shot. Let's go. So fuel map straight down to 6. We're going to try and get as many laps as we can. And watch that figure in the bottom left-hand corner. Laps remaining 2.4. Not brilliant, eh? This car sups some juice. You can't really short shift the car. The torque is really low. It has a low torque. Because it's a drift car, it just wants the high RPMs, doesn't it? It wants that rear wheels to be spinning. But we've set this car up for the wet, in case it rains. We do have the wet tyres available. Thank you, Mr. Ferrari. That was an expensive doink on your front wing, but let's not worry. I'm about to doink your rear end. Here we go, round around the outside. Mr. Audi, come on. Wait till the car gets into the high rev range before we hit that 5th gear. There we go. So it's saying 2.9 laps. We should get 3 laps out of this for the first stint. Let's see. Only 167. We're going to brake halfway between the two. 170 mile an hour I saw then. 2nd gear on the entry. It looks a lovely sunny day. Got to 3 laps on the fuel. That's great. So let's go to map number 5. And see if we can run 3 laps. Right, weather map. You need the weather map for this race, so just get it set up so you can see the long range. And then come back to your fuel screen. There we are. We want to be 2.5 at the bottom of the track. We're going to brake just between these 2 flags. The little yellow arrow, sorry, white arrows on the right hand side of the track. As we move up in 15th place to the back end of Mr. Lopez. A little gaggle of cars here. Let's see if we can get some draft going. If we can hit 2.5 at the bottom corner, we're pretty much nailed on for this 3 laps. We might just have to ease off just a little bit in the draft zone, into the braking zone. We've got a little nudge from the Evo on our back door, because he knows we're Subaru deep down. And I'm glad to see the Subaru in front of the Mitzi. So we've got the Mustang in front. My favourite name of guy that is the only person I don't really know how to say his name. Past Mr. Hazal in the Subaru. Now this car, you might need to brake just a little bit before the entry to this corner, just to take the speed off. And then we brake quite hard as we straighten the car up. Down to 2nd, use the high revs, it loves it. It might sound like it's complaining, but those complaints are love. It's enjoying it. We know similar scenarios where that's the case, don't we? Lots of noise means enjoyment. There we go. Nothing enough said. We're behind Mr. Gallo. 14 seconds down on the leaders. Just going to brake early for this corner, get the car through it. Oh, almost lost it there. The car is a little bit gingerly under braking. It's a trust thing. I know the back end wants to stop out, but I don't want to let it loose. Here we go then, 2.2 as we come round to the end of the first lap. We're in 9th place, 13.4 seconds behind the leaders. Braking just halfway down the pit lane entry. Come through the apexes, use all the curb where you can. Do the Porsche battling the Aston as the Aston goes to straddle the sausage. Mr. Mendoza just takes a little bit more than he can chew. I said enough of that subject. Behave. However, let's move on. Mr. Mendoza, he's cutting the apexes a bit narrow. He's impacting on his exit speed from the corner, which is something I usually suffer from. There's a lesson learnt. You start to feel the way the car wants to move. It does like a little braking early, this car. It's just disappointing that you can't get more PP out of it. It is primarily, though, a drift car, so when you're trying to turn a drift car into a race car, you're going to be limited. Here we go, into the final drive. I don't think we've got a 6th gear. We don't. It's just 5 gears. We saw 170 last time. Let's see where we can get to. We've got long range drag there. We're going 172, 175 maybe. Going to brake on this first flag. We follow Mr. Sugawara. Fuel is looking absolutely spot on. Let's go to the rain radar now that we're confident that we've got the distance out the fuel to get 3 laps. This is where we're going to be setting our fastest lap on this lap. No sign of any rain, so we're good to hold off. Let's brake as late as we can between these 2 flags. There's the second one. 3rd gear in, maybe 2nd gear to take the 2nd apex. 3rd gear to take the 3rd apex as we use Mr. Sugawara's draft. As he's punching the hole in the air, we're getting the benefit of following him. Tyres are looking good. No sign of any rain. I can't see anything. I'm going to take him on the inside. We're up to 7th place. Going to brake just on the end of the white lines. And rain coming in, top right hand corner, northeast quadrant. About 2:30 probably it's coming from, and it looked like it coming in quick. There's a possibility we might have to pit this lap. Looking at the way that's coming in, and it's coming in strong. I don't think it's worth the risk, knowing what we've got. Three laps will be devilish, won't it? Looks like we're going in on 2. Wouldn't like to push a 3rd lap. That'd make it extremely tight and difficult. But are we going? What tyres are we going to? We're not getting a real good vision of what it could be. There's no colour. If there was greens and yellows, I'd be suggesting we're going wets, but by the looks of it, we're going semis, intermediates. Oh, I'm down with the innuendo today, aren't we? Oh, green's appearing. Oh, but it's way to the north. Who else is going to the pits? McEwen's gone. I'm going intermediates, I think. There is some green in there, but inters might be the one. We're going to take the fuel. We've gone in early. Let's see if inters are the right choice. Not always is. Blasen and McEwen in the pits. They've used slightly more fuel than we have. We're going to be dropping a long way down the pack. But we're doing this for the right reasons. We anticipate it to be raining when we come out. There it is. The rain's just started as we arrive in the pit box. The big old front and rear wing on this car. We didn't actually show you in the setup the actual extra additions, but there really isn't anything. It's just rear wing. Take the rain, take the pick of rear wing that you want. Now there is some green in there, look. But it looks like it's going to be to the south. We're in 19th place. I've got a feeling the AI are going to be really suffering. I just don't know whether the right call was the intermediate tyres. We are These tyres are prime for these conditions. So if these guys are racing on slicks, they're going to be in trouble fairly soon when they start to get to the deeper stuff. We should be able to drift our way through these inclement periods. They're doing alright though. We're 52 seconds down. Not seeing any incidents as we go. But the rain started. It's really pouring. It looks like the rain breaks after this and we go to a little bit of soft rain. So the rainwater depth doesn't seem to be excessive. Do that little bit of a tweak as we put the brakes on. The back end likes to lurch around a little bit. Now we're still going to persist with fuel map 5 because we want to progress. The tyres are showing heat already. And it looks like we're going to appear from the other side of the rain without much drama. These looks like the AI guys have actually been able to cope on their slick tyres. It could be throwing all sorts of weather at us. We may have pitted too early. You never know. Have we thrown it down the drain straight away? Because we're now getting back to the point where the slick tyres are the primary tyre. And we have got no grip. We're about to come out the other side, so we've got to put all the effort in to make our way back to the front. Are we going to get more rain? He says 50 seconds down on the leaders. Oh, would you believe it? Duped by the rain, tricked. Mr. Bishop, we had a little coming together with you earlier, didn't we? We're making time up here. I think we'll get a second lap out of these tyres. And then we've got to pray for no more rain, but it looks like there's more rain coming in. Mr. Portilla's gone in on 14% fuel. Mr. Yamanaka, Mr. Kawakami. Oh, don't brake like that, my friend. Just going to sneak our way up the inside, and there's more rain in the future. So we're going to go a second lap. We're going to try and do the leapfrog on these boys. See if we can come out somewhere near the front. Although we were only in 6th or 7th place, weren't we? We weren't actually at the front of the pack when we got round to complete the first lap. But the car drives very, very well on the inter tyres. And we're going to come out where we were before we pitted. We know at least 2 of the cars have pitted in front of us. Here's one, Mr. Blazan and Miss McEwen. I went so many races calling Miss McEwen Mr. How did I get that so wrong? Well, that's because I don't keep tabs with the old PlayStation World Series, do I? Because I spent too long playing the game and not enough watching. 4th place, 4 seconds down on the leader. Rear tyres looking really shonky. But we're just going to keep plodding. Oh, I picked up a penalty there. And we're about to get into more rain. That rain will help us. It will keep these tyres cool. And then at the end of this lap we're going to pit. We're just going to try and make it all the way to the end. I know we could have probably adjusted the fuel map, but we've got the fuel map spot on for 3 laps. Back end just wanted to walk round on me a little bit. Looks like we could potentially be quite good after this rain spurt. I like to be in a little bit of a wetter track, so we're going to move over to the edge to try and keep those tyres as cool as we can. We don't want that grip burning away. This car doesn't have a majestic top end. The engine doesn't have the torque to push the vehicle along to those super high speeds. That rear tyre worries me. That back left hand corner, we're about to go into the drive phase again. Got to pit at the end of this lap. We're going to have to brake earlier to try. Oh, we take a tap from the Mitzi again. That's the same place he tapped us earlier. We took a severe pounding to the rear, didn't we? Look at that back end flashing red. Like a baboon's tush. Never good. Here we go then. Just be wary of this corner. Don't want the back end stepping out on us. We're going to brake early, then we're going to brake on the straight. We know we've got the penalty coming. That rear left is going to really cook up a bit. Wonder if McEwen or Portilla will pit this lap, giving us the opportunity to stay in touch. But we're going to go to slick tyres, I think. Just got to watch that rear as we come round these last few corners. It's burning down to 0. This next corner could be the end of that tyre. Look at it wasting away. And we go to clear skies, just a damp track, so going to do 40 seconds in the pit stop. So Mr. Portilla's on his way. He's the one we got to track down. Need a really decent stop. So we got the fuel to save time in the pit window. We're going back to mediums to get the 3 laps, because we should be complete on 7. Interesting to note, Mr. Hayward there comes in on 0 fuel. My, that drink was cold. Ooh, straight down my chest. But Hayward's in the pits now, McEwen's in the pits. We're already on 35%, just like they are. So these are going to be pretty similar pit stop times if Hayward's going to fill up as well to go to the end. McEwen's already filling. We're switching back to medium tyres to give us the best chance of finishing the race. Fuel's going in, we're at 70, 80. Bishop's in on 16, we're away. Hayward takes to 91, and we're right on Blazan 6. Let's get through this wet patch. There we go, back onto the racing line. So Mangiano leapfrogged us, look, in the pits. He's short-filled on fuel. We know we've got the right fuel for the pace of the car to go all the way. We're in 12th place. We've got some overtaking to do. We've 2 stopped. And we're away up into 10th place. 37 seconds off the lead. Nail biter. We just got to keep an eye on that rain radar to see what's coming. It could absolutely thrap it down in the last 10 minutes. We don't know. This race throws all sorts at us. And there, top left-hand corner, there's rain. It's definitely rain there, hovering. We can see just a tiny bit. Northwest quadrant, about 10:30. Just a little dot there. Threatening. It's a solid spotter cloud. It's definitely there, isn't it? But the way it's going to go, that's not going to really threaten us at all. The tyre is now the track is almost 100% dry, unless we're under the trees. So no, we can push these medium tyres to the limit under braking. And here we go, pushing on, 35 seconds in deficit. 3 seconds behind Miss McEwen. Miss McEwen's been ahead of us all race. And Portilla there sat out front. Really looks like he's got this race nailed and sewn up at this point. We've got to keep pressure on. Track is 100% dry. Look at the boost picking up there and the turbo. It's pushing all the way through to the 2. This is where the turbo really starts to work well at the higher end of the torque range, the rev range, sorry. 35 seconds in the rear. 34.67. McEwen's having a wobble. Let's lift off and brake early just to make sure the car's secure. It's a bit damp on this part of the track. Closing in on 9th place. Bit hazy in the sky, isn't it? Has this car got what it takes in the last 2 laps to really go head to head with these boys? And girls. Not forgetting who's in front of us. Got to squeeze up the inside if we can. There we go, that got us the advantage. Mr. Tapai, we get behind again. Let's see if we can... Oh, rain, top left-hand corner's just appeared again. Just threatening. And away it goes again. It doesn't look like it's going to come in and give us any sort of issue. But nobody really has gone to the pits this time round. Sneaked up the inside there. Slightly bigger rain cloud. It's gonna be 7 laps. Just got 7 minutes to go. Fastest lap at 4:18.340 for Mr. Portilla. Well, this will be the first time we can set a fastest lap. Our fastest lap so far is 4:18.080 out lap, but that had the start-finish involved. So this will give us an indicator this lap of where we are against that time. We've never been able to put a purple sector in up until this point. There we go, a second up on purple. Sector 1. Let's see where we go. We're in 8th place, 30 seconds down. We are hoping, we are fingers crossed that these boys and girls are going to be pitting on the last lap to give us something back. We've pitted twice. At this point in time, we have to make this happen. We haven't taken any risks. We've been relatively safe with our approach. We pitted to go to mediums, when we thought the rain was coming. The rain did come, but it backed away. We could have gone a 3-lap out lap with 2.19 seconds up, so that says a 4:16. Let's see if we can get this time down. We really need a hot lap. We're below 30 seconds now in deficit. If they are pitting, they've got to be really, really quick stops. We are catching. We can physically see it. We're 3.4 seconds up on the fastest lap. Mr. Gallo in the NSX is our next lined up victim. Like I say, and I've sort of hinted at, I don't expect this car to be tremendous round here. The low torque, the low comparative power to some of the big boys that you can run round here. We're just hoping this one makes it a race. We were purple again there, almost 4 seconds up. We're just going to slide past Mr. Gallo. Hopefully pick up Mr. Ooh, tweak from Mr. Gallo. Never fun, never fair. Especially in a car that's a little bit imbalanced like this one. Healy just dodged around something on the track. Brake, ease off, just let the car come in. We ran across that curb. There's a slight chance we could pick up a penalty. So we're into 6th place. We didn't make any time in that quadrant, didn't we? Did we? In that sector. Clutch took a bit of a burn there as we came through that corner. And now we need to. Now we're assured we're not going to get any rain. We've got 1.1 laps of fuel. We're going to be tight. We're going to be tight. We're going to have to drop to fuel map 6. And then just see where we can get to. 26 seconds down on the leaders. Ooh, we had a brake check there. We're 3.7 seconds up. There's the 1-0 on the fuel map. And the 3 leaders have gone in. Sugawara hasn't as yet. 8 seconds in the lead. Where is Sugawara? He's going in now. There they are. There he is. Got to have that fuel on the 1-0. Absolutely razor-like through that final chicane. 4.2 seconds up there, so 4:14. They're not taking fuel. We're blasting past them as they're stationary in the pits. Portilla is on his way out. He's going to be charging like a bull in a china shop to get to us, I think. I would have liked to have said raging bull, but china shop came first. 6 seconds in the lead. And we're just going to have to be nursing the fuel a little bit. So 6.6 seconds in the lead as we enter the Mulsanne Straight for the final time. We have the fastest lap of the race, a 4:14.058. Not the fastest time we've ever seen. One has to admit, we've got faster cars in the stable, but this is a request. This one is to say, can you get a decent car? Can you get a race winner out of this car? We probably can, you know. It's looking fairly good. It's driving fairly well. 7.1 seconds in the lead, and time is growing, so we are faster than the cars behind. It does look like there's been an incident behind. Actually, Portilla looks like he got sideways into that chicane. The track is 100% dry. The rears are showing a bit of heat, but we've got plenty in them. We didn't need to pick the softs. I don't think the softs would have got us this far. We'd have been quicker for 2 laps, but I think we'd be nursing tyres as well as fuel. We're going to have to nurse fuel. Look, we're at 0.5 already. We've just got to back off a little bit. Short shift it to 5th. Let's see if we can save some of that 8 seconds. We need to get it home. just going to have to back off. We can't risk running out of fuel and being fixed to 50 mile an hour for the final stint. That can't be good. So we've lost a second there. Short shift where we can, just to save that top end fuel margin. Maybe running for that fastest lap has really curtailed our ability to stretch the fuel. It's dropped to 0.4. We're down to 5.6 second lead. Portilla is charging in the... Is he in the Viper? I think he is in the Viper. We're just going to lift and coast. We've got the main top speed. 5.5 seconds in the lead. No pressure, no stress. Let's just roll it home. Keep control of the car. Keep it on the track. Run the apex. 0.4. Down to second gear. Coast the apex. Back on the gas. Nice and smooth. 0.3 now as we roll in. 5.9 seconds in the lead. We're okay. We've got this. Into fifth gear. Low torque. Just let the turbo blow the car along. 5.8 seconds. We've got the flashing fuel light. We're now probably going to get the warning as we come into this corner. Down to third. Let's really tail it off. Back to fourth. Let the low torque in the engine do some pushing. Let the turbo blow. 5.5 seconds in the lead. We look and feel comfortable. Just make sure we're going to get there. I think we're safe as houses now. 0.2 it drops to. High rev range in third. We should see that drop to 0.1 possibly as we get past the end of the pit lane. Going to press on the brakes, really slow the car down. I think we're good now. We've got this. 6.7 seconds in the lead. Final chicane. Finish the race off. Here we go, across the line. Still 0.2. We've got plenty of juice. We did just enough with a 420 it looked like as we crossed the line for the final lap. But there she is, spitting and popping and banging. Decent looking little car. And a decent race win. It got it there. You know, if we're talking a race win of 31.39, it's not the fastest car, but it's done the job. A fastest lap of 4:14. We're nowhere near lapping anybody, I don't think. No, just 2:23, Mr. Lopez. Just half a lap behind. But that is a really decent car. It gets it. It wins it. What else do you want? Now, I've often thought and I've often suspected that when I get a request, it's because people are just double checking that I'm doing what I can to get the fastest out of the car. And just as a little bit of a disclaimer, my idea is to make simple, efficient setups that get you the win. I don't do tweaks and I don't try and get the fastest out of the car. The critical thing for me is a win in the simplest way possible. So if it doesn't live up to what you want, there's loads of cars out there. But for the person that made the request, Mariana, thank you very much. I really enjoyed that. That was a great couple of hours of racing, testing, trying to get more out of the car. Because I did it all yesterday and I've come back to it today to race it against a random weather. I never knew what was going to happen. So with that, 825,000 and the clean race bonus, that's a good win and a decent car at Le Mans. And it's something, if you haven't got it in your arsenal, go out and buy it, go out and do it, and you'll enjoy the game. 25 million. And we should get the ticket, which is a 4-star. But with that, thank you very much, folks, and we'll see you on the next one. All the best. Take care.